Hey everybody, we just spent the day at 50 Licks creating an origin story on how they got started. Now, we want to take a moment and really talk about how you can shoot for more story. It's time to stop living in a land of middles. Most of us, when we go and shoot, we shoot nothing but middles. Why? Well, because it's easier. Creating a beginning and an ending are far harder to capture. But telling full stories, as you know, requires a beginning, middle, and an ending. And that's what we want to help you with. And what it's called is the 3/1 rule. Now, the idea is simple. Rather than one shot, focus on building each scene into a beginning, middle, and ending. Easy, right? It's time to stop standing in the corner and playing it safe, rolling on everything to hope we just get what we need. To tell more full stories, we really have to get in there and anticipate. And that's the key. Beginnings require anticipation. To properly capture a beginning, we must anticipate before it happens. Otherwise, you show up in the middle, right? So, as you're shooting ice cream, one of the most obvious B-roll scenes shooting at 50 Licks, you'd imagine that's the ice cream going onto the cone, right? But if you're thinking about a beginning, that could be somebody going into the bucket, or it could be somebody grabbing the actual scoop out, right? So we want to think before the main action happens, that middle, what happens, and anticipate that. Rack into focus, people entering frame, and revealing from behind an object are all great options for beginnings. To find stronger beginnings, take what you want to cover and just ask what happens before that. And then before that, and then before that. You can really apply this idea of going further back and back and back. And of course you can go too far, but it's about thinking about that beginning and where your story really should start so you don't show up in the middle. Now, on the other end, endings require patience. To properly capture an ending, we need to have the patience to let something resolve. We can get so anxious about covering everything that we get a shot and we leave in the middle to try and move on to something else before we actually let something resolve and get a natural ending. And the story is so much better with an ending, right? When's the last time you watched a story that didn't have an ending and you really enjoyed it? We need to stick with that middle and let it resolve. Now, you can rack focus out of focus. You can go behind an object or have people leaving frame as a good way to end your scene. The key here is that we want to start thinking about how to shoot with story in mind. And doing that means that we can't live in a land of middles. We've got to try and build out every single scene into a clear beginning, middle, and end. Remembering that beginnings require anticipation and endings require patience. And when we do this, we can tell far more complete stories. So next time you head out there, just remember the 3/1 rule and ask, what can I anticipate and what can I have patience to let resolve?